Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Like to announce that the board met in exec session prior to this meeting to discuss 2 personnel contractual matters. And I need an approval. Need a motion to approve the agenda for tonight, incorporating additions and deletions.
So moved.
Thank you. Mr. Wagner, second. Thank you. Mr. Garber, all those in favor? Okay, motion carries 7-0. 9-0, sorry, everyone's here. Needed motion to approve the minutes of the school board reorganization meeting held on December 3rd, the regular school board meeting held on December 3rd, the policy education and programs meeting held on December 12th, and the buildings and grounds finance meeting held on December 17th.
So moved.
Thank you, Mrs. Johnson. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Keener. All those in favor? Motion carries 9-0. Moving on. Mr. Wersky for recognitions and
Thank
student
you.
council.
So every year in January, we honor our school board members for School Board Recognition Month. So on behalf of our district and the entire community, we want to thank all of our school board members for all of your hard work, your efforts, your dedication to the school district, to our students, and to ensuring that we're providing the high quality programming for our students. A few of them are here this evening. Can receive in our buildings day in, day out. I get to work with you firsthand, and I'm just extremely grateful and appreciative of all the time, energy, and effort that you're willing to spend. These are, for those in the public, these are unpaid positions. And so while you're elected, you're also volunteering a ton of time to give back to the district, and it means a lot. And so we're just really grateful for all of your hard work. There are difficult decisions that come before school boards, and you take your roles very seriously. And you each approach your role with what you think is best for our students and for our community, and we're just very grateful. So on behalf of the district, please accept our extreme thanks and appreciation. And from the district, you actually have a bag, it's a computer bag, work bag, carry, you get a lot of papers and a lot of things from us. So now you have something to put it in and carry it back and forth to meetings as needed. At the same time, we also have our schools kind of rotate through on a yearly basis for school board recognition. So this year, we have Kim Rauscher from East Petersburg Elementary as the principal, Dr. Kathy Swantner, principal of Rohrstown Elementary, and Mr. Ron Swantner, principal of Landisville Primary Center, and Hempfield High School. There's Dr. Brossman, who will be here as well to honor you. So with that, start left to right. So Ms. Rauscher, I'll start with you. Or the elementary team, come on up. Perfect.
As a team. So on behalf of not only our schools, Rohrstown, LPC, and East Pete, but our entire elementary division, it is truly an honor to say thank you tonight for all the time and energy you put in researching and seeking to understand what is in the best interest of our students. And we are very grateful.
Exactly like Mrs. Rauscher said there. So you have a couple of things that you'll find in front of you there from each of our schools that represent just a small thank you for all that you do. We're hoping you can coast through the rest of the year with a focus on academics where our kids can continue to excel. You have your mug to put on the coaster, and then you're also going to have something from a student artist at East Petersburg there as well as the poem that I think says it all to thank you appropriately.
And we hope that the meeting doesn't go too long and you don't have to jump into those snacks.
So some artists at East Pete tonight have worked very diligently to try to capture the essence of you. So at this time, if you could unveil the picture, the picture beneath your little frame. And this is your very own self-portrait. And on the back of the thank you is the picture they used to create this beautiful self-portrait.
Pretty good.
Pretty good, right?
That's
Um,
great.
What I love most about all of the pictures, and yeah, if you want to show each other, it's great. They really worked hard at your smiles and making sure your accessories were just right. So enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have white hair about, I don't know.
Can you think?
Primary center coasters rock.
Thank
Awesome. There we go. We're coasting through the rest of the year. There you go. Good job, Joe. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's awesome.
I think they do them and then. And then Dr. Brossman.
Okay.
Sorry, I was not as well prepared as the Ellen crew. I didn't have them pre-placed at your seats. But this year, the high school is using the theme of HHS All In. And we've been reiterating that to our students. Last year, Student Council, along with some other groups, had a guest speaker in to promote this idea of being all in. And Student Council also provided every one of our students with official HHS All In band. So I have some of those for you. So let me start with that. So, any of you guys got your one? I don't know if you guys remembered it. All right.
Thank you.
So just kind of a daily reminder kind of thing to
Thank
all in for Hempfield. We do give these out to the kids. The parents got them at the back to school night. We have another one coming up, but we got that. If a all-in bracelet is not your thing, we also have so John Paul also talks about, this idea of being all in, put all your chips in the middle of the table. You're totally committed. So I also have Hempfield all in poker chips. So these can be used kind of like a, like a fidget or like a challenge coin if you're into challenge points, what that's about. So all of our staff members received one of these this year. So maybe you all get one of those too. Okay, as a reminder of what we're kind of about. Very cool. Right. Chips. And then finally, even something from the kiddos too. So around here. That's what I have for you. One of these nifty, I need my powers. So big thank you to Mr. Settle and the HHS Technology and Engineering Department. This is an example of a project that is done in our Intro to Drafting and Design class. There we go. So the base for this is 3D printed in our one engineering lab. And then the acrylic piece and the circuit board inside and the bottom plate are all laser engraved on the laser engraver. And then it's got a power cord to it. I want to recognize two students, ninth graders, Dane Abel and Andrew Swigert. They're both Electronics 1 students. They had finished their Electronics 1 project early, and they did all the wiring and soldering to put this together. So they did a great job, both ninth graders. And so this is not just a thank you, but a reminder of the amazing work that our teachers and students do at HHS. And our staff and students are all in, and we know that you are too. So have one of these for each of you as well. Yeah, one example of the cool things that our kids do in tech ed. This is my first time going to this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It just plugs into any USB.
Yeah, right. Here's the office. Yeah, totally. Thank you, sir. There it is.
Thank you so much. Just so neat. I love it.
Mike, this is legal, right? I plugged this into the computer. It's what, like Friday, all right.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Rossman.
Thank you so much.
And thank you to our elementary principals as well, Ms. Rauscher, Mr. Swantner, Dr. Swantner, and Dr. Brossman for honoring our school board. Again, as you can see, not just from us, from district administration side, but the building administrators and our entire community, we sincerely thank you, and it's an honor to work with each of you. So thank you for your hard work, and that's our school board recognition. And next, I'm going to move on to our student council officers and student council members who are here tonight. So
I just
Turn it-
want to say thank you. It gets better every year. We really appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll second that. This is pretty cool. I mean, this is going to be with me on my 3.5 hour drive to Pittsburgh tonight, as a matter of fact. So Dr. Brossman, the fidget, without question, I'll be fidgeting with this. Very cool stuff. Thank you everyone for your very cool recognition. Appreciate it very much.
Everyone, I am Addie Lieber. I'm the Secretary for Student Council, and just on the behalf of Student Council, thank you for all of your work that you guys put into our school district. It shows, and we really appreciate all of it. I'm just gonna go over a couple of past events that we did in the last month, a couple weeks. December 18th, right before school break, we did our random knock, and this is every month teachers nominate their classes that have been behaving well in class or just performed well on a test, and then they'll nominate their class. Student council would choose randomly. And then we will gather up some goodies, play some fun music, and randomly knock on their class door. And the students get super surprised, and it's a fun way to congratulate them for their hard work. So we did that December 18th. And then December 20th, we had our annual bus driver appreciation day. Student council woke up early to prepare some treats for the bus drivers in the morning. There was music, signs, and lots of coffee and drinks. So it was really good to show our appreciation for our bus drivers. And then we even had some extra food. So it was nice to go give them to the faculty members just to show our appreciation for them too. And that was extremely successful. So we plan on continuing to do it in the following years. We have one upcoming event in February. February 7th is our annual winter formal. This is actually only our second year doing it. Last year was first year we did it, and it was extremely successful. It went better than we actually thought. We had a lot more people show up than we thought, so we were super excited to continue to do it. We are continuing to start the dance an hour early for all special education classes to come in. The music is going to be quieter. There's not going to be any flash lighting, so it's going to be a comfortable environment for them. And so we're really excited to do that again. But yes, that's all we have.
thank you. Any questions for our student council members?
Thank you. Keep up the good work.
Thanks for the update. And thanks for the other student council members who also joined us this evening. So appreciate it. Great work. Thank you. So that concludes the recognitions. So turn it back to Mr. Donato for residents' requests to speak.
And since we have no residents requests to speak to the board, I'll turn it back to you for the superintendent's report.
Perfect. Thank you. And good evening again. Just a couple of updates, announcements. So it is now January, and as we go through the next couple of months, winter weather is certainly upon us, kind of coming and going. I know we don't have a lot of members from the community here, but it is important to note that with the winter weather, we are a large district. And so while in some places it may look fine in your area of the district, in other places it doesn't. But we work very closely early in the morning hours with the townships, boroughs, and get updates. But particularly the updates come directly at times from the police departments, and those police officers are actually on the roads. And they're actually the ones kind of relaying the information as to how they actually are. So over the last several years, while it is not always a fun time having to make that call and decision, we're doing it as a result of the information that we're getting from our first responders and who are seeing the roads firsthand. And so what we just ask parents to just stay mindful that you always need a plan in the event we not only have to cancel school early or go for a delay, but also there are times when we're in school and we may need to dismiss early. So wanting to just push that out. Also share as just a reminder, coming up on January 21st will be the end of the first quarter of the school year. And so that's hard to believe that we are almost halfway through the school year coming up. And so a lot of great things have been happening over the course of the school year. We know there's a lot of great things being thought about and planned for the second half of the year. But there's a lot of great work happening in our schools, and we're just really excited to see the student progress with a lot of some of the new initiatives that are in place in all the buildings at all levels. So a lot of great work there. Over the next couple of months between winter sports, extracurriculars, and then getting into spring sports, as I always do, just encourage you when you can to enjoy the events and watch our kids shine, whether it's through sports, extracurriculars, etc. Coming up at the end of February into March, and then late April into May, we have our musical and dance theater, which is always a hit for the community. And we are again doing our senior preview night for both the musical and for dance theater. And that is for any member of our senior community to come and enjoy our final dress rehearsal. And it's always a great night. And so we'll be pushing more information out to you, but you'll be getting information for tickets and things. So if you need any help as you start to see those emails coming through, please don't hesitate to reach out to us so we can help you if you need that support. Other than that, the district calendar of events are listed, and you also have. Yep.
Do you know what the play is and what the dance theater is called yet?
The play this year, the musical this year is Pippin.
Pippin?
Yep. And dance theater, Fun, F-U-N, Dementals.
Okay. Thank you.
And you have the enrollment report attached to the board agenda. And if there's any questions, I'll take them at this time. Otherwise, that concludes the superintendent's report.
Questions?
Thanks for making the call about weather. I know that's hard. It's a big responsibility.
There's a lot of great people who help feed me information.
What time do you have to get up those mornings?
4 a.m.
Yeah, one of our previous superintendents always got sick this time of year, but from getting up early to do that. Hope you don't get sick.
Okay, moving on, there's no president's report, so we'll go on to representative and adjunct reports. Lancaster County Career Technology Center, Mr. Keener.
Thank you, Mr. Donato. Actually, I have several relatively significant items to report on from the Career and Technology Center. The Joint Operating Committee met for its annual reorganization meeting on December 9th. And we have a new chair. The chair of the JOC is Justin Weimer from Solanco, and the vice chair is now Andrew Welk from Lancaster, Strasburg. And they will both be serving a one-year term until the next reorganization. As many of you know, we have been engaged in a lengthy search for a new administrative director. That process has not yet concluded. And until it does, we have named Michael Catch as the interim administrative director. Mr. Catch is a longtime CTC administrator, primarily over in Chester County. I've had the opportunity to meet with him a couple of times, and I'm confident that he provides the depth of experience to keep the center on an even keel while we continue a search for a permanent leader. Finally, we will, at a future meeting, most likely in February, be voting on the budget. Hempfield's request will go up. The total budget increase was $1,021,000. That's an increase of about 4%. So the increase from the districts will also go up about 4%. Given Hempfield's part of the formula, I think our increase will be in that general range. I don't have the exact numbers, but we will have them. Do you have them, Mrs. Hall?
I have them. I don't have them with me, but I have them.
Okay. I think we'll probably put that on the agenda to vote on in February. And at that point, it will be appended for everyone's review. So there will be an increase, and the center continues to make headway on strategic leadership issues.
Any questions? Okay, IU 13, Mr. Maris.
Yeah, just a couple things. We voted on and approved a new vice president, Melissa Herr from Lancaster, Strasburg, Nikki Rivera from Manheim Township left the IU because she got a position in the Pennsylvania legislature. The only other thing is we talked about the legislative breakfast. They hadn't come up with a date yet. It was either the 3rd or the 10th of March. Have they given a date yet, Mr.
At
Roberski?
this point, they're leaning towards the 3rd.
Towards the 3rd. Okay.
And I'll be pushing information out about that once we get more from the IU.
Okay. And that's all I got.
Thank you. Hempfield Rec Center, Mrs. Brady.
If you have anything, Mrs. Brady, please feel free to chime in. Really not a lot new to report. We did not have a meeting in December as we normally would have, so that meeting was called off. However, we did have a really cool, fun holiday party, incredibly well attended on January 4th, actually at that Blue Collar, which was a lot of fun. Mrs. Brady and I were both there, as well as our significant others and many others. So great time that evening. Our next meeting is on Wednesday, the 22nd, this coming next Wednesday, 8 days from now. So if you have anything else to.
Only other thing that I was going to add was I just was at the Finance and Facility. Can you hear me? I'm sorry. This morning we had the Finance and Facilities Committee meeting, so I attended that where we reviewed last year's financials, the annual reports, which are all in a good position. We discussed potential investment strategies for the cash reserves that are on hand, and also looking at agreement renewals with East Hempfield Township as far as our facilities lease. And again, the full meeting on the 22nd. coming up.
I guess I'll throw in then too, just specific to subcommittees within Hempfield Rec. I'm also on the strategic planning meeting as well, which we've been doing a lot of work over the last year or two to take a look at how to continue to expand the facility, enhance the facility in many ways. And so much more to come on that. We're actually making some good progress. Mrs. Brady, you'll see some of those things next Wednesday. So pretty cool stuff.
I will add, they are having a membership drive this month, so it's a good time to join.
Hey, thank you. Safety and Security, Mr. Garber.
Nothing new to report.
Hey, PSBA. Mrs. Escher.
Nothing new to report.
Okay, moving on to standing committees, Buildings and Grounds, Mr. Barris.
Yes, we met back in December 17th, and actually we only talked about just one item, the scoreboard update. Mrs. James provided an update. We only got one bid. We're working with ELA to determine other options. We may lease a scoreboard for a couple seasons, depending on what happens with the high school building.
Okay, thank you. Finance. Wagaman.
At the last finance meeting, we had the update from Myers, Patsy and Associates. They presented the yearly audit. And I just want to thank the business office for the excellent job that they did in making sure those documents were together. And that audit was nothing short of excellent. So thank you. And we have some contracts to approve tonight. And we reviewed those at the Finance Committee meeting, so they're on the agenda this evening. And then I think we'll have a couple financial items to talk about with transfers and that will be approved tonight as part of our financial action items. Thank you.
Education and Programs, Mrs. Johnson.
We had reports from our some of our elementary teachers principals, as well as middle school and high school, just to bring us up to date as we looked at different data that they've collected and assessed. So we had an open question and answer session with them, the board did, which I felt was a good use of our time, a very positive thing. Let's see if there was anything else particular. We discussed some of the scores, why they dipped from one year to the next, and we asked them to bring us back what their thoughts were on why and what some solutions might be for that. And it was between 4th and 5th grade, right? I'm drawing a blank. It was between 4th and 5th grade.
Yes, we had conversations about 4th and 5th, and then also 6th to 7th.
Transition for 6th grades into the middle school. So we should hear more from the principals in March about that. Our next meeting is Thursday at 5 o'clock in this room. Thank you.
Okay, Policy, Program and Legal, Mr. Keener.
Thank you, Mr. Donato. The Policy, Personnel, and Legal Committee also met on December 12th. You will see that there are one policy for first reading, which we will be voting on shortly, 3 policies for second reading. The naloxone policy will be reconsidered at this coming Thursday's meeting. There were a couple of implementation questions that several board members had that the administration will be addressing on Thursday. And then we have a discussion around policy 351-1, which was pre-employment drug testing. The administration is working on some revisions to that policy, likely along the lines of sunsetting pre-employment drug testing and shifting to a reasonable suspicion-based testing regimen should one become necessary. But that will be addressed at the February policy meeting.
Thank you. Moving on to personnel action items, need a motion to approve personnel action items 9, numbers 1 through 10, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Mrs. Johnson. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Garber. Any discussion?
Just one item for me as I take a look at one of the items under retirements. Mrs. Rauscher will be retiring at the end of the year. Nice. Yeah, she's gone, but can you remind us of the process to backfill her and find the right principal for that school?
So we'll be working through a series of the process where there's hosting. There's a period of time where interested applicants can apply. We screen the applicants, interview the applicants, and then work to hire someone. The goal would be to have someone in place prior to Ms. Rauscher retiring, and so that there can be some overlap before she retires.
So that process will begin pretty soon, I would imagine then, yeah?
That is correct.
Very good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, motion carries 9-0. Need a motion to approve financial items 10B through E as presented.
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Mr. Wagbooth and Mr. Wagner seconded it. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, that motion carries 9-0. There's no buildings and grounds action items. The last thing is other action items 12B through E. Need a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Keeners. Second.
I'll second that as well.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 9-0. And I believe that's the end. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Mr.
I'll second that as well, Mr. Maris.
All those in favor? Motion carries 9-0. We're approved. We're adjourned. Thank you.